I'm going to tell you a new story about my manager is a hero. And just to explain who I am, I wrote books, I did some TEDx talks, so if you really want to look at the Red Monkey story, just go to YouTube, it's on there. But I'm a developer, and this is my legacy. I'm 59 now, and everything I know is on this map. Okay, and on the back side, it's empty. Okay, so it's all on the front. So, and yesterday, I explained the first thing, and the first thing is just the world is changing and we need another attitude to innovation. We have to embrace conflicts. We have to embrace that people are killing each other. Right? This is innovation. But today I'm going to talk about something different. Today I'm going to talk about, okay, you can have it. Okay. So today I'm going to talk about this thing. It's my wallet. And I've been listening. No. That's a good one. No, I have to keep watching on the timing. Okay. Oh, the watch is not running. That's the problem, bro. It's okay. Anyway, so what is? I've been listening to all these speeches, and at the end is what is crowdsourcing? It just means please fill it. Give me your money. That's crowdsourcing. Before that, we had to go to the bank. Please fill it. But now we say the bank doesn't believe me. Please, you fill it. So crowdsourcing is just getting to resources. That's everything it is, from my point of view. The problem is, if you have the money, how are you going to spend it? That's the problem. So, and that's management. So what I'm going to tell you about is not about crowdsourcing, but about crowd spending. Because at the end, you have to do something with it. So what I'm going to talk to you about is this thing. Wake-up call, very fast. This is my canvas. When I give lectures, I always use the same canvas. We're going from 2D to 3D. 2D, information shortage. The world, we had to go to school, we had to get a degree. Flat, two-dimensional. Wow, we are arriving in an information luxury. Everybody can get to information. And this is a completely new world. And we are still adapting to this new world. We are sitting there, and we have to move over there. And some people are there, but most of the organizations are there. So, it's a revolution. And at the same time, it's a drama. And one of the dramas we have to solve is we have to reinvent management. We have to do something with management. And I wrote a book about that, My Manager is a Hero, and that's the title, but it's only in Dutch, so I need a translator. But anyway, so I'm going to talk to you about the management challenge. But what is the management challenge? First, you have to know what does the word mean, management. And I look it up in a dictionary because I'm not so clever, so I use a dictionary. And if you look up the word management in a dictionary, it just said, and this is in Dutch, getting things done. So if you're a manager, then you get things done. It's one of the most beautiful words in the world. You are a manager, and you have to do things with a group of people. That's it. There's nothing wrong with the word management. So we have to ask the question by ourselves, what is 2D management? And this is the management challenge, because in 2D, we needed 2D managers. People who got things done with people with an information shortage. But in 3D, we need managers who are able to do some magic with people in a world of information luxury. So we have to move to 3D management, but first we have to understand what is 2D management. So I'm going to explain that in a very short time. And this is 2D management. Imagine you're working in a company and a manager of a team is leaving the building. He drops dead, or he goes on a pension, and then you got the question, who is going to be the next manager? In a time frame when there is no information. Do you know who you choose? Do you know who will be the next manager? I know. It's going to be the person who is the oldest technical expert in the group. Do you know why? Because he had all the information. And he is going to be what I call a 2D manager, and he is going to tell other people what to do. Do this, do that, do that. So he becomes an ambulance. So this is the manager. So what is this management? He creates a system with smart objectives, function descriptions, personal development plans, competence management, diplomas, etc., etc. And these tools enable this guy to work with these people. And these are not just people, these are his people. He owns them because he's the manager. So now I got a question, because the world is changing. And I'm going to explain you what management malpractice is in one slide. Do you know what is happening now? The world is changing, and this manager, who was a technical expert, now manages the team in an area where everything is changing fast. So this is the manager of a ship because nothing moves. He was the manager in a 2D area where everything was flat. And now this happens. This manager is managing a team in that new area. So what happens to management malpractices? The first management malpractice is, because the manager is the brain of this team, first of all, he gets an information overload. Because he still wants to be the smartest guy in the team, so he starts learning, but he can't keep up. And the second thing is, he gets people who are passionate and talented, who have access to the information, and they keep telling the manager, you are wrong, you are wrong, you are wrong. Do you know what happens? Coma. 80% of our current management population is getting into a coma. And there's nothing wrong with these people, because these people were the best managers we could find in an area where nothing changed. And you know what happened with an organization where 80% of management is in coma? This happened. They start throwing up. And there is no agility, there is no movement, and this ends up with a population of 80% sheep. And this is starting from yesterday. So we have 80% of employees acting as a sheep, because 80% of management is acting like this. Now we have a problem. Because with this kind of an organization, you can't innovate. I won't give my wallet to this guy. Okay, so what do we have to do? We have to rethink management. We have to go to a cultural revolution within organizations, to go to another management. We have to fire 80% of managers. But these are the people who have the power, but they are really incompetent. Do you know the meaning of the word competent? If you look it up in a dictionary, it means you have the necessary authority and you have the necessary skills. So who is competent? If you have the skills and if you have the authority. But when are you incompetent? When you don't have the skills, but still have the authority. And this is a problem. Now, I know a lot of people who have the skills, but don't get the authority. And they become entrepreneur. They leave the company. So we have to find out what is 3D management. Because now we need a management generation that is fitted to 3D. And this is the management challenge. This is the challenge for HR. This is the challenge for CEOs. So I have been thinking about this during my whole career as a training manager and corporate learning officer, about how do you create a culture where very confrontational ideas can incubate. You need the right management to do that. So I'm going to do a survey with you, very short. You can earn 4 points. Okay? So you only need 4 fingers. So most of the 4 fingers. If at the end you have 5, you miscounted. Okay? So we go. The first thing is, look at the managers who are working in your company now. I think they should be leaders. So I'm going to look to the management generation of today able to accomplish miracles with people in an ever-changing environment. The first thing, they have to be a leader. So if you look to your managers in your organizations, are these storytellers? Are these people who can tell to a team, this is a very confrontational idea. This is my vision. I really want to accomplish this. They are connected to the crowd. They are listening to the crowd, but they are leaders. They are able to go with a group of people to a destiny that is uncertain. If you in your organizations have managers who are able to do this, create mental power with a group of people, you get a 1. If you don't have these managers and they work with smart objectives and function descriptions, you have a 0. Okay? No half points. 0 or 1. Remember it. So, but if you have a manager who is a leader, he has to get the right people in his team. So what he is a cast coach. And what is a cast coach? A cast coach is a person who has a talent to smell talent. And this is a picture taken in England when I was there on vacation. And we had, we went on a garden trip in the UK. Do you know how many gardens there are in the UK? Too much. I think that's because they live on an island. Okay, anyway. So, I took this picture, and you know this. My wife asked me when we were working in the garden, she asked me, hey Sjoeke, this is Dutch for honey. She said, honey, please move the flowers from there to there. And I asked her, why? And she said, just do it. That's a function description. So, I just moved the flowers from there to there, and the next year, the same flowers were 5 times higher. That's a cast coach. A cast coach says, you have the passion and talent to have miracles, but you're not in the right role. I will bring you to the role in my team that you become a miracle. So if in your organization, your managers say, I need HR systems so people can work for me 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, 2 hours a week, or 3 hours a week, very flexible. Crowdcasting. People from outside the company, but he is the person who has the authority to do the right casting. You get a 1. But if in your company, people work for a manager in a function description, you have a 0. Because it's impossible to create a passionate, talented team with this kind of HR processes. And you know what happens if you have a management generation that does leadership, that does casting? They give complete freedom in learning. Because they are an info coach. And you know what an info coach is? An info coach is a person who says, I give you complete freedom to learn. It's like the world water cycle. Reuse information. Just go to social media. Exchange information. This is crowd learning. So the manager is an info coach. Now imagine that you have a management generation that has leadership and is supported in leadership, that is able to be a cast coach and is supported in cast coach. They can give complete freedom for learning. But you know what I see? If you have a management generation that doesn't have freedom for casting and doesn't know how to lead, they don't give access to social media because they don't trust people. So if you're working in an organization where you don't have the freedom to learn, 0. If you're working in an organization that has complete freedom to learn, 1. Why? Because I don't know any manager who has a vision, puts the right people in the right place, who doesn't give freedom to learn. So not using social media for learning or crowd learning is a management practice in your organization. And the last thing, and now we are coming to the crowd. Do you know what crowdsourcing is? Is getting to the money Well, and it's not anymore about crowdsourcing. Maybe we should talk about blending sourcing, blended inversing. Just using the resources you have. Because what happens, if you're a manager that's a leader, a cast coach, who makes sure that his people learn every day, you need less money. And that's where it's all about. It's not about collecting money. It's about how do you go around with resources the most efficient way. So at the end, you have something between 0 and 4. So if your managing generation has a vision, if they are cast coaching, if they are info coaching, and you have resources for these managers, you got a 4. Who has a 4 in the room? A few persons. That's the drama. You're not working on resource, you should work on your management style. So this thing is the thing. The most important conclusion is we need 3D executive heroes. We need to change the culture of organizations in order to do more with crowdsourcing. I thank you.